Rivera. I'm a psychic medium, Italian Airwalk. This is my Ask Ivy show where I take your personal questions and I deliver messages from spirit. Anything goes. $5 gets you the short answer. $10 gets you the long answer. All right. And there are directions above or below, depending on where you're tuning in. If you're on Instagram or TikTok, my producers are going to be posting the directions in the comment section. So watch there. Who do we have first? Oops. Oh, I wanted to say thank you to my members, but I'm not going to be able to read that. So thank you to my YouTube members. I will get more organized and I'll list you guys later. One of the perks for the YouTube members is that when you guys send in a question in a show like this, you get moved to the front of the line. Okay. But thank you. I appreciate you guys always. All right. Who do we have first? Edgar has a $10 question. What blessings are coming to me for the remainder of the year? Okay, what month is this? So let's go logic. This is September, I believe. All right, so October, November, December. December has a lot of hits in it, okay? So the second week, the third week of December, we've got some hits. These are mostly, I don't want to say financial, but they do seem to be work-related, career-oriented in some way, networking opportunities, and additional task opportunities, which may not sound super fun, but it is a blessing. It may be a bit of a blessing in disguise, especially if you're being asked to do something new or something's being put on your to-do list. You know, if you feel like a boss just laid something else on your desk and you're like, what? Is there extra pay for this? No. However, if you do a really great job, all eyes and ears are on you. Could it pay out to, turn into something like a promotional offer within like a 2 to 3 month period of time? Absolutely. Possibly even within one. I doubt that's 1 week. I was feeling more 1 month, but take it how it resonates at that time. Where you may be, complimented or recognized. I'm not saying you're getting an award for it necessarily, but, in the universal scheme of things, it does work out as sort of a payment on the way during that time. I also think that you could November, mostly again, the middle, but I do see, some of this even toward the end of the first week of November, the middle of that first week of November, conversations with a female that seem very uplifting, sort of positive and optimistic. There is dating potential here. There's friendship potential. So new romance, where will it go? I think that that's an important time for you to remember that you want to be assertive with things like that. So pay attention to the new people that you're meeting, the types of conversations that you're having. And when you feel there is someone sort of inviting you in for additional conversation, the conversation is lingering, she's sort of leading into more. I would take that as a thumbs up and a go ahead. I know it can be nerve-wracking to read someone's, body language and communication. And feel like, okay, well, I don't want to overstep a boundary, especially if this is work related, and it very well may be. But I think that you've got the go ahead. All right. So, there's a sense of her not wanting to maybe ask you or blatantly come out and put it out on the table that she's interested. So sometimes you just have to take that risk, So that also looks like a bit of a blessing coming in. I want to say too that you have this next upcoming month, so it's going to be October. You have some opportunity here to be getting some money, having some money come in, or if you've been spending somewhere to like stop that spending, okay, or that debt payoff and things like that. So that also looks good. Okay, you can use that as leverage as you go forward. Thank you so much, Edgar. We're going to move on to another question. This is a $5 question from an Ayana. And Ayana wants to know, will I still move to Maryland as I planned? If so, when? Yeah, I think you can. This isn't really a destiny charted question. This is more of like a free will question, and where, if any, are there obstacles or major open pathways, for opportunities supported by the universe. So, it requires your effort, a lot of your free will to happen. There's no reason though that it can't happen. Let's put it that way. And I don't get any red flags with it. I actually feel like the next 3 months for you would be a nice open window of opportunity for you to dot your I's, cross your T's, and get everything in order in regards to contracts, how much you want to spend, where specifically you want to be living, the details. So once that's more organized, I think it's your way of telling the universe, I'm really serious. I'm locking this down, even if it's not official. You haven't signed on the dotted line yet, but you are telling the universe, I'm locking this down. I put in the research. I've done the effort. I'm solid about taking the next step. I just need to get these last details in order here. Here's the game plan. And the universe says, okay, I see you're serious. Now let's go ahead and move forward. And that could be happening as soon as like 6 to 7 months out. All right, so enjoy the process. Good luck with all of that. We're going to move on to another one. This is from a Masubi. This is a $10 question. And she wants a general reading. General reading from Masubi. I do have a lady coming through mentioning a lot of roses. I smell roses. Okay, she's also giving you a red rose, which is a birthday or anniversary right around this time. This can include a passing anniversary and a deep love, and a pink rose, which is a brand new beginning, a new project. It can be a new baby. If there's, no new baby coming into the family, I, do feel, and for you in particular, even if there were, it's still this. It is a new project. It is a brand new lifestyle. It is a new beginning for you in such a way where you're going to really have to invest significantly, but the payout is going to be huge. So don't be surprised. She comes in here giving you a lot of maternal support, but also like, I don't want to say pull up your bootstraps, but it's almost like, when we talk in personal training, you used to be a personal trainer. We talk about your core, people who slump or people who have like, all kinds of problems. It's like, you have to suck in your core all the time. You have to, it's not necessarily pull up your bootstraps as much as it is like, be confident, suck in your core. This is also part of where we talk about like the root chakra, which is your power point, your power out, your creativity, your resources. It can also be your sexuality. So there could be a lot going on with that, but you sort of keep your stomach in, keep your back up straight, head held high, eyes forward, focus. And the next 4 months are going to be all about you, sort of falling into alignment is what she's saying with what it is that you're supposed to do. I do feel like you're getting confronted here a bit also because you've sort of been your own worst enemy the last like 3 to 4 years, especially between that 3rd and the 4th year back. There were some things that came tumbling down off the shelf. There were some things that may have, you have a grandfather coming through here who's actually kind of funny. He said some things rolled out of the car and you ran him over, so it's sort of like maybe you had some things set up in such a way in your life that weren't the best to begin with. And then you made it worse when they tumbled. Okay. Like panic, or a trickle effect. Sometimes we have a downward spiral type of domino effect going on in a situation like that. And what you're doing now and within the last year, 10 months in particular, is you're rebuilding. Okay. And he's proud of you for that. But I do think that what you need to be doing right now is saying, I'm not going to look backward anymore. What happened in the past, there can be great lessons there, but it does not determine my future. And here are my future plans. And here's what I'm not going to do in the future. I'm not going to procrastinate. I'm not going to ignore red flags. I'm not going to hold space where I shouldn't be. I should have been faster. I should have been more cutthroat. Okay. And make sure you're doing it now. They'll be helping you with that. Good luck going forward. We're going to move on to another one. All right. We have one from Bonnie. This is a $10 question. Bonnie says, do you have any messages from my son, Jason, who passed away 4.5 years ago? Also, what do you see for my daughter, Amy, whose time on earth is coming to an end due to illness? Well, I'm going to have to pick one or the other here, okay? Just know your son is with you. Your son is also with your daughter and visits quite a lot in dreams, and he does do the ear ringing, called clairaudience. So when your ear rings, you have weird tinnitus or a frequency, especially in the left side, and it increases in the bathroom. And at night when you're sleeping, according to him, he can put thoughts in your head, songs in your head, answers and solutions in your head. And I am so sorry for your loss. When I go over here with your daughter, I feel like she is in a lot of ways, and I can't prescribe a diagnose. I feel like in a lot of ways, she is really ready to go. She is a brave heart. And you have a lady coming through maternal energy watching over you whose hair would have gone quite gray, like she did not color it. And she says she's a brave soldier, but I feel like she doesn't want to be a brave soldier, anymore. And sometimes, Amy's ability to be really stoic and even like positive, whether it's positive for everyone else or just positive because she is, there's a time for all of us to realize we need to be sort of done with some of that and focus more on ourselves. Allow ourselves unapologetically to feel what we're feeling and be whatever it is that we want to be in that moment. And she may be doing more of that. If I were you, I would expect and plan for that, where you're seeing some more sort of raw, whether it's emotion, coming out of her, or like even just through her physicality, like the way she is physically responding to this part of the process for her, this transition and this new beginning. You may see a range of different things there physically with her. I do think that she is very welcoming to anything that can assist her in being relieved of the pain and discomfort. She feels like encapsulated, and she's like a butterfly, she's like a butterfly in a cocoon that's ready to go out, into the world. And you'll be hearing a lot from her. I know you already do, from her in spirit. I was explaining this, and this is just for everybody. I was explaining this to somebody earlier. They said, somebody who stayed here at the haunted sleepover, they said, would your cats be coming to us in spirit before we got there and after? And I said, yeah, because we all communicate in spirit. We don't have to be deceased to do that. Mediumship is happening all the time while we're alive, so watch mostly with Amy for her communicating. Like I said, I know she's already doing it. I know you're aware, from the spirit world while she's still technically physically here. Okay. So that's also called death coaching. All right. And you could start setting up the symbology now with her, what you want to hear and see from her, once that time does come. But keep your chin up, okay, and your heart open. Everything is exactly as it should be right now. Ton of blessings to you. Let's all send Bonnie some love and, prayers and peace, and manifest some healing for her and her daughter. All right, thank you, everybody. Let's move on to another one. Okay, this is from Maraid. This is a $10. So Maraid says, hi, Ivy. I'm looking to start dating casually. What should I do or pay attention to so I get the best results out of this process? I would come at it with a really high standard. You have a gentleman coming through who smokes a pipe, paternal energy, and may have had like land. I'm not saying he's a farmer, but I have him with like this pipe in the newspaper and like reading things about farming and like, maybe grew up on a farm. He is a no nonsense kind of guy, and he wouldn't have spent his time working the land and tilling the soil and planting the seeds if he wasn't going to get one heck of a harvest out of it. This guy is no dum-dum. So I feel like this is the kind of attitude you need to have going into it. And for you in particular, it's important that you display this energy of expectation and zero tolerance. And I think what's going to happen is that people who shouldn't be approaching you will start pulling back. When someone is looking to take advantage of somebody else and they know they can't run game, they simply don't bother, or they'll approach and then they'll very quickly ghost. Okay. Because your value is way up here, and you know that. All right. So you expect their value to be as high or higher. I think that's your best approach. And it's not something you necessarily have to be saying a lot. I'm not saying that you're going to, encounter a ton of bozos who want a free ticket to the circus or anything, and you're constantly having to juggle this. It's more like, if you think this way, and anytime you're entering into a situation where there are a bunch of potential dates, including going online to a dating app, you're carrying that energy with you into the room, so to speak. You understand what I'm saying? So it's more about how you are mentally, how you carry yourself energetically, and what you're visualizing. The other thing I think you need to do is write down 15 things you expect to get back, in a love partner, and do not settle for anything less than what you put on that piece of paper. I do see a potential higher value individual coming in here, but you may have to sift through some nonsense to get to that person. And I would give it about 2.5 months. Could it be 2.5 weeks? It could. Okay, so just take it as a double meaning just in case. I would not be surprised if this happens online. Okay. All right. Enjoy. Light eyes, brown hair, kind of a bigger nose, little pale. Gotta take him out in the sun. I don't know. He's kind of he's a little bit of a nerd. He has collectibles, but those guys, first of all, those are the best ones in bed. Okay. They tend to be loyal and more honest, and they're incredibly, incredibly intelligent. There's usually a lot of depth there, maybe a little neurospicy also. So we'll see what that's all about, but kind of bigger. Okay. A bit taller. Very cute. Love this. Love this for you. All right. Let's move on to another one. Yolanda has a $10 question. Okay. Any messages from people, loved ones? Any messages from loved ones for Yolanda? You do have a gentleman who comes through, feels like lover, almost watches over you in like a companion, but like a brotherly type of way. Talking a bit about your work and the way you're communicating. And then we have a lady coming in, mom's side of the family, strong maternal energy, making sure that you're speaking your truth. And then we have somebody else coming in. I don't think we're going to be able to get to all this, but in a nutshell, what I feel like, they're sort of doing, they're almost in cahoots. They're coming through here, making sure that it's a complete message, but they're all talking about the same thing. I think that, grandma's been visiting some in dreams, and she's been making sure that you're being more upright and focused. A lot of maternal energy over here as well. If you lost a mom, trying to sort of heal your heart, because it seems like you've had some heavy heartedness. She does give a white rose, which can mean there wasn't a proper goodbye or there's a lack of closure, but it can also mean you're just going through healing in the sense that you're purging quite a lot. You're detoxing, and you want to just sort of let that happen as it needs to happen. So if you've been crying and you're like, I'm working, or I have a meeting, or I'm in the middle of the store, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have time for this. You need to make time for that. Who cares if you're crying? Like, who put your sunglasses on? Like, go to the bathroom if you have to, but you need to make time for that as it's coming out. You can't always reserve your emotional, I don't want to call it a meltdown, but your emotional release until later. You can't always do it that way. Also you're doing it for other people. Who cares? Don't worry about satisfying anyone else at this point in your life right now. You've done enough of that. You're done, and that's over and in your past. When I go over here with the male, I feel like he's trying to help you with the way you're communicating about what it is that you want in your work. Now, this doesn't have to be specifically like you're literally emailing one person. It could be in addition, okay? But in general, it's the way you're communicating about your work. Are you showing up and settling for less than what you want, but you continue to show up? Have you made it clear what your requirements are, what you want to be getting paid, how much availability needs to be in your schedule, what type of tasks you want to be taking on? If you're not happy with where you are you looking elsewhere and actively pursuing, outside of where you are? It's important that what you're doing right now is speaking clearly about what it is that you're claiming from the universe for yourself. And if you're having trouble doing that, you may want to have a meeting with them. You may want to sit down with your work and money guide as well for like maybe 15 or 20 minutes with a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, and just call everybody in and be like, can you help show me specifically what I want? Because I'm a little confused about how to get from A to B. Okay. So it's almost like you're creating this roadmap, he calls it a treasure chest, and at the end you get to this treasure. So you can have, his point of saying it this way is that you can have everything that you want right now, and you just need to start moving toward it And it's sort of like, should you not be able to get it, I feel like he's pretending he's like this pirate and he's stealing it for you. Okay. So they will be manipulating blocks, obstacles, and other potential, issues that could trip you up or stop you from having long-term effects on this path. And you may be feeling that, that there could be some trouble in transition, but it won't last. Okay, so go for it. Thank you, Yolanda, for your question. We're going to move on to another one. This is coming in. Okay. I am probably going to butcher your name because I don't speak your language, but this is a $10 question. Okay. I'm planning on starting a business and a YouTube channel concurrently. I'd like to bring the community up with me. Will I be successful, and what will be my biggest challenge? Okay, so that's a lot. Let me just try to break this down. Will I be successful? Okay, what will be my biggest challenge? Well, I think that, if you're focused on your community, let's say, you are going to do well with outreach to them because they haven't seen a lot like what you're offering. So it's not going to force you to be incredibly original. You're not going to have to really struggle to come up with like out of the box ideas in order to really grab their attention. So your community seems to be not, I don't want to say starving for what you're offering, but there's definitely a shortage. I think the most important thing that you could do is really speak your mind. And I think it could end up being a bigger challenge than what you think. Right now you're thinking you're going to go into this, you're going to speak your truth, you're going to encourage a lot of interaction from the community. There seems to be a lot of creative elements with this. So there could be like artistic elements going on with this. And then once you get there, you may be like, I don't know, should I say it this way? Or I don't know, can I say that? Or, oh, well, what if this isn't received well? Or what if maybe not even by your community, forget your following. What if YouTube doesn't want it to look that way? You understand what I'm saying? What if TikTok is going to, it's a constant problem I have, for example, that I can't stop complaining about. What if you are constantly getting hit just for who and what you are in the algorithm limitations? But your challenge there is to continuously speak your truth and to not modify beyond what you should. Sometimes you can modify a little bit and you can play that game, but you can't sell out entirely. Okay. Also, I would say that is in a nutshell, still the same type of challenge is burnout. It can become very frustrating to start something and think it's going to go really well and be really well received, but whoever owns that platform is limiting you. They're taking your following. They're constantly making sure you've got problems either in the algorithm or the comments section, or that your views are down. Like, the crippling effect from this can cause burnout. And I think you should go into it not having high expectations of like, oh, these videos are going to blow up, even if they should, even if they may. Sometimes don't always expect that to happen based on the effort and the quality and the love that you put into it. Just because your passion is there and just because other people want to see it does not mean the platforms are going to allow that to happen. Don't forget, they have their own agenda and you are working within it. Okay, so be realistic about that and keep going anyways. I would also just recommend this one last thing. I would spread out if I were you. Now, I'm sure you're already doing that, but just in case you're not, or sometimes you slack on it, you put out on one platform like YouTube and then you chop it up. You're hitting TikTok, you're hitting Instagram, you're hitting Facebook, hit everything so that you're never reliant upon one platform. Okay, especially for what you're doing, that's going to be very important. And yes, I think you'll be bringing up the community 100%. I see success. Good luck with all of that. Thank you so much. We're going to move on to another one. This is from a teenie on TikTok, and this is a $10 question. And teenie wants to know, what is QE feeling during this breakup right now? Panic, a little bit of attack of in the chest. It's like sort of like nervousness, a feeling of, I don't know if I'm going to be able to replace this. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this back, but I also don't know that I want to get this back. So, that's conflicting energy. That's the type of energy that just sort of spirals out of control, mouse on a wheel, goes nowhere type of energy. I think that the more important thing for you to be doing during this time is focusing less on your ex-partner and more on yourself. How are you feeling about it? Are you feeling better? Now that there's some space, are you starting to feel? We always want to expect that after a breakup, even if the circumstances were toxic, that you are going to feel worse. You shouldn't expect to feel better straight out of the gate. So, as that clears, you can see that some of the stressors that were put upon you are lightening. They are releasing and setting you free. And there were for you more than what you even thought. Sometimes you can't see clearly until you're out of it, how much it was negatively affecting you. So this was sort of like a weight or an anchor, around your ankles. And I think that where you are now, you should expect that if you hear from this person, and you probably will, I'm getting 3, could it be 3 days? It could be 3 weeks. It could be both. In your case, I feel like that's likely. But, maybe they're coming out of that panic. They're coming at you instead of looking to engage with you. Like they haven't really figured out, where they ought to be. They're just trying to get back some of that energy that they fear they're losing. That also says to me that they were taking a lot. And so whenever you look at, people in a breakup situation, and you see, one going through a glow up, it's probably because they were being siphoned. Okay. And that may be you. So, I would expect to hear from this person, but it doesn't look genuine. It looks like some chit chat about objects left behind, or like a fake text, or like, an attempt to sort of reel you in or breadcrumb you. It looks like some nonsensical conversation, but without actual apology or, reform. It's like not of value. So hold the line. Okay. I don't know that this person is really capable, or it wouldn't have come to this. Okay. So it may be a good time to just sort of plan to move on. If you need, you could do a cord cutting always. Okay. There's a class up on the website that can help you with that. All right. Thank you, Teeny. We're going to move on to another one. This is I don't know. How long is this question? Is this a 10 or a 5? Okay. 10. This is a $10 question. And this is from a Danielle. Danielle says, my question is, how am I doing? I went through some major life changes. I made some huge decisions in the form of self-love and had a killer summer trying to find myself again. I feel like I'm finally out of that 16-year cycle of low self-worth. What she's referring to here is what the cardinal signs have been going through for the last 16 years, taking beatings. Okay, and it's ending now. So she's coming out of that. So feels like Cancer energy. Want to make sure I'm still on the right path. Okay, and then my spirit guides are proud. They don't, and curious about my future love life, if anything stands out. Oh my goodness. Okay, but then again, honestly, I don't give a fuck, because I finally found joy in my life. Okay, I found joy in myself. Okay. All right. My ADD, I cannot retain. Okay, today. I just don't have it in me. Are my guides proud? Okay, so I want to talk about that first. We want to stop thinking of our guides as either being disappointed or super proud of us. I post a lot of memes joking about this type of thing, but I am literally just joking. Okay, so that's their job. You don't have to worry about whether they're proud of you or not. You don't get like extra, like they don't get commission, on whether or not you do well. Okay, it's all free will. Okay, so just don't worry about pleasing anyone else. Just that part of it stands out to me. This is a long question, right? And that stands out to me. Are they proud of me? Who cares, right? The whole point of everything you just went through was to start saying more, I don't care. I don't care about living up to the old standards that were put upon me. I have deprogrammed. I'm not here to please anyone else. I'm not here to impress anyone else. Who am I? What do I want? Okay. And then unapologetically go after that, including with them. Your guides do not want you doing anything in life to make them proud. Okay. However, yeah, when you're making progress like this, for sure, your whole team, your guides, your angels, your deceased loved ones, the universe, everyone, the high vibrational humans around you, everyone celebrates with you and for you. And you allow other people to level up as well, okay? Because you're a living example. You're not just talking the talk, you're walking the walk. So they have something to actually look at. So there are a lot of karmic benefits to doing this, beyond just making them proud. And I think that, the other thing that really stands out here is that you found joy in yourself. So you're not looking to like a love partner to fulfill, okay, that joy. And so many people don't ever reach this point. I have a lot of clients in their 60s, their 70s, their 80s who haven't figured this out, that they're wasting their lives literally thinking that their joy is going to come from a love partnership. Those were never designed to be that at all by universal standards. That's a government construct. It's a religious construct. It's a patriarchal, capitalistic construct. It doesn't exist, okay, in the larger scheme of things. So the fact that you have unveiled this truth to yourself by finding actual joy and peace and a glow up, it's like you now need to not necessarily showcase that to the world to be on the right path, but you need to continue to hold those boundaries and never again center someone else or center a lover or the concept of a lover, becoming your main focus for the choices you make all day, every day. Okay, so you're done with that. Lay it to rest, throw some dirt on that grave, watch the flowers bloom. And I think the next few years for you are going to bring a lot of payout for this. But right now, it's very new. It's very fresh. You're still kind of figuring it out. You're still learning how to maintain it. The tests are about to come in for the upcoming year to see if you're going to backpedal or you're going to hold the line. And so pass those tests, and I think the payout will most certainly be there. Yes, I think you're on the right path, 100%. And kudos. Very nice. Love this. All right. Thank you, Danielle. We're going to move on to another one. This is from a Derek. This is a $10 question. So Derek wants to know, will my settlement be paid out? It's been dragging on for years. Thanks. His settlement, what's going on? Yeah, I mean, 3 years. It just seems like we're approaching, like almost like the tail end of another year of it before you get your payout. One of the other things I'm seeing with this is that you need to sort of like a dog on a bone, or like a pit bull, like bark at whoever is in charge. And if you've been doing the same thing, like following up with an email, and following up with a phone call, following up with an email, and following up, if you've been doing the same thing and you've been not, really seeing any change in the circumstance, it could be because some of this energy is being dismissed, and it's easy to dismiss you through those, formats or forums or whatever you want to call it, right? Those outlets of communication. So maybe it's time to switch up the approach that you take with this, just to get that ball rolling and to push it a little bit faster. I think that it's very deliberate, all of this hesitancy and the way that a piece of paperwork like goes forward and then sits there for 4 months or 6 months or 7 months. It's like, this is all deliberately happening. Okay. So if you have thoughts like that, know that it's accurate, and that from your end, while you can control the things like I just mentioned, what you can't control is their game playing. And what you can do to manipulate that game playing is through manifestation techniques of agitation and visualization of the circumstances. So one of the things that you can do is to sit on a daily basis, maybe 5 minutes, 10 at the most. It shouldn't really take you that long. And I want you to visualize what you think they're doing and to push And then I want you to visualize the outcome that you want to see and the timeline in which you want to see it. You could say now, okay? I want this to happen now. And you just stay in that energy. I don't think you're doing any of that. You know, I think you think about it. I think you worry about it. I think you're irritated with it. But then you have to understand that's the kind of energy you've been infusing into it, which is just making it worse. Okay. So we've got manifestation, we've got law of attraction, not even being utilized here. And that, aside from a different type of follow up, you know, where you're being a little bit more of a pit bull, you know, there's a time to bark and there's a time to bite, they say, right? This is the time to bite. And there are a couple different ways to do it. Okay. So yeah, I think you can get it moving a little faster than that if you do this. Okay, so Derek just said it's been since 2018, 19, 20, 21. Okay, so, you know, it's just too long. You gotta push. You gotta push. Okay, the games, the never-ending games. There was also some switching of hands here, which I won't get into because we're out of time, you know, but that also delayed things. You could count for a year, even two in between there. All right, but yes, we've got movement. Okay. All right, let's move on to another one. I know that's so frustrating. Jessica Slamiani. Jessica is a $10 question, and she says, what blessings are coming for me for the remainder of the year? Okay, so that's October, November, and December for Jessica. You seem to be having some very nice communications in the month of December. These feel like friendships. This could also be lovers. This could be people you have intimate exchange with. I think it's a really important time, especially if you've been asking the universe to send you more quality people, quality relationships, quality interactions, even if they're not going to become, you know, friendships or long-term relationships. If you've been asking for more of that, you're going to get it. Right now it's kind of brewing up. And I like that for you. I think that's a really important time for you to also pay more attention to what you're saying. And so there's this sort of excitable energy, or this, I don't want to say it's like overly talkative. And as a Gemini, I'm not one to speak on that. Okay, I'll plow anyone over in any conversation. But, you know, maybe it's a time to just sort of, okay, I think what I'm looking at here is like active listening. And I know you're really good at that. Okay, so it comes naturally. But you may be dealing with some people who are slow talkers. And so even an active listener can be like, okay, I think I got it. Or like, you know, it's just taking them forever to spit it out. And so it's like, I can help you wrap this up. You know what I mean? Or here's my response, you know, try to pull back. Okay. Try to just kind of detach and hold back a little bit, give a little extra time. And I also think this is symbolic of you being more attentive to what people's energy is saying, even if their words are saying something else, their body is saying something else. You know, read the energy. You may also be looking at people who don't show up, you know, during that time, and examining relationships in your life that aren't there for you in the way that you would like. And so the reciprocity, the balance, if it's off, you may be sort of out with the old and in with the new during that time. I like that for you a lot. I also think that money can be getting better for you. I have some coins getting dropped into your like bank account, which can mean that we're seeing an increase. It doesn't look massive, but it is significant enough that if you have an increase in the amount of pay, for example, that you're getting at work, there could also be like a check in the mail. You know, I don't know that this is an inheritance as much as it feels like maybe something from the government or some kind of payout, you know, but you may be able to use that as a little bit of leverage, okay, to maybe pay something off or to get you into a better position. And that's going to be coming more October, November. Yeah, I think there's some good stuff here. Okay. I also think, especially at the end of October, and again, it'll be coming up in the last 3 weeks in November, make sure you're speaking your truth. So if somebody were to like say something to you, and you feel like your power, your comfort zone, or your expertise is being a little bit challenged, you're going to want to shine bright. Okay. Speak your truth. Do not hold back. This is not a time in your life to be humble. Okay. Take what's yours. All right. Enjoy. Do we have any more coming in? All right, we have a $10 from Lucy, and that's going to go to 3. All right, Lucy says, wondering if my sister Nina has any messages for me tonight. Okay. Yeah, Lucy, I feel like you're almost feeling better. I feel like maybe you went through a hard time. You know, I see you sort of leaning forward and feeling some like pressure in the chest, and it feels almost like some anxiety, and I see some tears going on. So just know she's been with you during that time. This is something you've been going through the last I want to say like three weeks, but it's almost like you're feeling better. And I almost get the sense of you feeling a little bit high. So I don't know if you took a pill or I don't know, you smoke something or whatever, right? That's something is helping. And it may be the shift of energies. Yes, it could also be outside, influence. I think though that the tide really has turned is what she's saying. And if you've decided in your life to walk away from two different things that weren't satisfying to you, one may be a person or a relationship dynamic, the other one may be like a work or a living situation, or even both. It feels like you're walking away from some things that are dissatisfying to you. They're not fulfilling you. You have basically passed, let's say, the tests, okay, from the universe, and now your blessings are coming. So what you should be feeling now and within like the next 48 hours, and then for the next few months, is a flow and ease to things, okay? Like you're being universally supported. And it's kind of like taking a warm bath, okay? Or like a bubble bath. She shows you like, I made this bath for you. And it's like, you can slide in, there's like rose petals and bubbles and, champagne and like lovely music. And it's a time for you. It's a time for you to take some deep breaths and to enjoy the fruits of your labor, and to stop minimizing how much work you have actually been doing in the last, like, I want to say between 4 months to about a year and a half. Okay, so payouts are here. She loves you very much. And we are going to move on to another one. Okay, we have from Natasha. This is a $5 on Cash App. And she says, what blessings do you see for me in my personal life? Okay, Natasha Johnson, blessings in her personal life. I see you being recognized. So if there was something you recently did with a job, a career move, your education, training, certifications, anything in that vein, where you sort of put in the effort and then you showcased yourself, or you had to showcase yourself possibly, it doesn't matter. But you are being seen and heard. You are being recognized. And it's not people blowing sunshine up your rear end. It's authentic and it's long lasting. Okay, so this is something that you can really utilize. You can, take these sort of well wishes and recommendations and, attitudes toward your work ethic and who you are, your personal skills, your attributes, and characteristics in general, and you can say, you know what, let me run with that. I think that it's going to be going on for another ballpark 2 months, where you are in a unique position to be seen and to be heard. So I would expand out into all areas of my life. If I were you, I'd be doing this on social media. I'd be doing this through videos. I'd be doing any, speaking engagements that I could possibly take, or if there was anything I wanted to teach, I would ride this wave while it's here. Okay. I also think that you're making some strong moves and laying down a foundation if you're looking at making any changes to your residency. It looks like you're laying down the type of foundation that would have to do with like maybe savings or, loans, or like, enough money coming in, making decisions and sort of claiming my stake. I see you, pushing a flag, into the ground. So it's like, this is my territory. And that's also going to be really huge payoff for you for the next 2 years. But we'll see a lot of this over the next 4 months. All right. Thank you, Natasha. And we're going to move on to another one. This is from Jessica, and this is a $10. And Jessica wants to know general reading. General reading for Jessica. Don't take anyone's shit. Right now, if people are giving you crap and they're being ridiculous and they're deliberately confused, or they are coming to you with a lot of questions and they're not in good faith, okay, and they're acting like clowns, you need to really cut that off. You need to not be giving willingly your attention to people or situations that are trying to waste your energy and time and siphon your attention, okay? We need to remember that our time, attention, energy, and affection is a resource. And humans know that. They know that. And when they are bottom feeders, they will come to you for that, and they will find a million ways, right, to like trick it out of you. I think that you've given way too much time and attention to this, okay, like years, okay, and you need to be done with it. It needs to be the old you, the old way. And I think that, you know, one of the things that may be going on with you right about now is that you don't want to rock the boat, where you're saying, well, you know, maybe it's easier just to, you know, keep level ground and maintain, you know, the way I've been handling these situations. But that would be inaccurate, and that would be unwise at this time. Okay, so make sure you're being bold, and make sure that you have also sort of dotted your I's, crossed your T's. So one of the important things to do if you're ever going to cut somebody off is you do not show them your hand. You keep your cards close to your vest. You make your exit strategy. You change up those passwords. You change those contracts. You get everything in you do whatever you have to do to secure yourself, and then you simply disappear. Bye-bye. Good luck with all that. You know what I mean? And they're left with whatever remnants they deserve to be left with, whatever crumbs are, you know, left behind on the ground, and that is not your problem. And so I think it's time to strategize quietly, okay, and plan for a greater future for yourself, because there's a lot of taking energy here, okay, in general. It doesn't all have to be quite that dramatic for you. It's a general message, and the karmic lesson for you is to know when to say no more, okay? And up until this point in your life, you've said yes to pretty much everything. You're improving, but we're not there yet, okay? So let's get through that stage and then see where you land. Thank you, Jessica. We're going to move on to another one. This is from Michelle, and this is a $5. Oh, you know what? You guys, if everyone could please give this video a thumbs up, drop a comment of any kind. If you're here on YouTube, please do subscribe. And if you're on YouTube at Ask Ivy and you want to become a member for like your monthly horoscopes, you get a direct email reading, you get a free mini class every month, I get weekly messages, all kinds of stuff, all types of perks. You can hit the join button and it'll show you the 3 different tiers of membership if you want to do that, okay? All right, I appreciate it, everyone. Thanks so much for the hearts on TikTok. Just a warning again, if you are tuning in through TikTok and you have submitted a question, TikTok hates me and they love to cut me off and say that nobody was there even though I see you. So feel free to switch over to YouTube at Ask Ivy, where I will definitely not be getting shut down. All right, we have from Michelle a $5 question, and Michelle wants to know, when will I meet the person I will be dating and being in a relationship with? How will I meet them? Any info on how to find them, please? I would pull back and let them come to you. So there is no finding them. There is a period of like latency period. There's just like I'm going this way and this way. Okay, so we're looking at your past and we're looking at your future. I want to say you're probably in the second month of a 3-month period of maybe not being very satisfied with what you attract. So let's look at the energy that needs to change now, okay, to reverse that and to start getting it rolling in the right direction and claiming what you actually want. And then, you know, I'll see when that comes into time frame possibly here. So one of the things you want to be doing is visualizing. You can write down 15 things on a piece of paper, fold it up, put it in an envelope, put it away, that you want in a love partner. Okay, all positive things, 15 things you want, and you're not going to settle for anything less than that. I think the other thing you need to be doing is sort of sitting back and allowing it to come to you and paying attention to this one thing. When you're approached, does it feel predatory? Even if it's not obviously predatory, does it feel predatory? Does it feel suspicious? Does it upset your nervous system? Does it make you want to overreach? Does it make you want to anxiously reach out? Does it make you wonder what they're up to or what they're doing? That's a con job, okay? And you will have the opposite of that. When someone approaches you, do you feel at peace? Do you feel that they regularly show up? You know, do they seem to always be pretty consistently the same person? Or are they up and down all the time, okay? So I think you need to do more analysis with the way you feel. how you react, what's going on with you when somebody approaches you. So the easiest thing to do is to not approach anyone, to let it come to you and then figure that out. Then what you're going to do is you're going to narrow down, okay, put into 2 different categories. I got low vibration people who upset my nervous system, or they make me feel anxious, or they make me feel like butterflies, or I want to overreach. And then you've got your high vibrational people in this other category who make you feel at peace, interested, inquisitive. They seem stable. They seem normal. They're consistent. Okay. And then you want to feed those conversations a bit more. At that point, you can start feeding it. Okay. So we need to do some restructuring here. And the next month, you're going to have plenty of opportunities to do exactly that. And then after that month out, you're going to start to see some shifts and changes and possibly attracting some people that you're actually into. And if you're online, that wouldn't surprise me. Okay. If it comes through online. All right. We're going to move on to another one. So this is from a Sarah Hafner. This is a $10. And Sarah wants to know, hi, so I'm having IVF done in November. I have such an organic gut feeling that it's going to be successful. What do you think? Also, does my dad Marcus have anything to say? Your dad wants you to know that you're going to be okay one way or another. So he's like, calm, cool, collected, try not to overextend yourself and reach for that and desperately need that or have to have that pregnancy or come here, to the child in spirit. No. Calm, cool, collected. Reserve your energy for yourself and your well-being in your body. Okay. Keep it to yourself. Not in the sense of you can't speak or celebrate about this or ask this question or, manifest, but more like you want to stay centered. Okay. He makes me feel like you have a girl and you have a boy. So if there were some situations that happened where maybe this didn't work out in the past, we would be seeing a reincarnation here for sure. And we're talking old soul. Okay. Old soul syndrome. So this baby coming through with very old, like sort of wise, deep eyes, a bit of an introspective character and very intelligent, like book smart and street smart, discernment, especially with people and situations. This is good. This is not good. Don't touch me. I want to go here. This is great. So I feel psychically also really good about it. I would agree with you. I think you're in alignment with the highest likelihood, okay, the outcome here, and that is positive. I think that we don't want to color it black and white though. Okay. So you don't want to say like, if it doesn't work, that's negative. And if it does work, that's positive. Okay. It's not like that. It's the kid contract, as I call it. Every child, including myself, including yourself, we all signed on to our parents and we all decided when we were going to come through, and nothing and no one in the universe, including mom or dad's agenda, can manipulate that. It's up to the kid. Okay. It's their contract. So, it's nothing more than learning to abide and work with them. That's the smartest thing you could do. And I think at this point you are doing that. Okay. And I think that if you're doing this in the next 3 months, in November, yeah. So October, November, I have a good feeling as long as if you can get to this in the next 3 months, I think the highest likelihood is that this takes pretty quickly, pretty easily, real strong. Okay. A lot of celebration. Congratulations. Very exciting. All right. Thank you, Sarah. We're going to move on to another one. And this is Chrissy on TikTok. This is a $10 question. And Chrissy wants to know, what message does my grandma Leslie have to give me about my car? Does she have any messages for me? It looks, this is probably symbolic. Okay. But it looks like a little bit like a green rust bucket. So I'm sure that's not, I'm sorry if it is, but it's symbolic of like being done, you're done with it. And so, there could be some issues with it. It could also be that like it's not that bad, or you're thinking in terms of like, well, it's not that bad. I could get more life out of it, but I really think it's time. I think it's time for you to move on to something else. I also think you need to not feel bad about that or apologize for that. Like if you have the funds, you know, if the opportunities are there, if it seems to be working out, you know, go for it. So she does want to help you with that. She also shows me blue, and then she shows me almost like a silver type car, and faster. Okay. So I think you're going to have a good time with this. She is also talking about, I don't know if there was some type of an accident. You know, there may have been some kind of like an accident or a breakdown. So, you know, something that went on with this. It just feels to me like it's time to leave behind old stories. Sometimes when we're talking about objects, including like clothing, vehicles, furniture, mattresses, okay, anything. When there's an old history that went on in your life that's heavy and it carries a lot of memories that you don't want to associate with anymore, you gotta ditch that stuff. You gotta throw it overboard. You gotta burn it. You gotta bury it. You gotta whatever. You gotta leave those objects behind, because objects hold a ton of energy. Okay, and so that's something else that I'm getting with all of this. I think that she's been visiting also in some dreams lately and trying to get you to further, this is just sort of on a side note, training, education, certifications, or like sort of leveling up, okay, in regards to what you do. And so just some push and encouragement there as well. Thank you very much, Chrissy. She loves you. Good luck with that. Edgar has a $10 question. So Edgar wants to know, can I get a love prediction for the remainder of the year? I think I did this earlier. Yeah, so TikTok, they're going to shut me down. They're saying no one's on there, and I see you on there, but this is what they do. TikTok hates me. Switch over to YouTube at Ask Ivy if you're waiting on your question, especially. Thanks, everyone, for supporting me on TikTok. I do what I can there. All right. So, you know, I want to say November, I have some conversations going on that may be meaningful to you. The second week, the third week, I think there could be almost like someone's putting two sides of a heart, you know, those necklaces that are like best friend necklaces, or like, I don't know, lovers locket or something. It's like one person has the one side of the necklace, the other person has the other side. I feel these coming together, and it feels like the other person is actually offering it energetically, okay, symbolically. And so I would be paying attention to conversations that are happening anytime from now, you know, until, what was the question? You know, through December. But mostly, I think you're seeing this particular type of energy in November. And it may be sort of, I don't want to say immature, but there's something childlike about this. You know, there's something very innocent. It almost reminds me of, I keep getting flashes and images of, if you've ever seen that movie, My Girl, where like the little boy lived in a funeral home or something, or she did, Veda, that was her name. I don't know, there's something like playful about this and simplistic. So it's based on friendship, conversation, support, emotional support, and exchange in some of those conversations. And then mostly just like, this is easy, this is fun. The fact that, you know, that movie is coming up, it's also based on proximity. So we can sometimes end up with people, and research shows, right, studies show that over and over and over again, the majority of people we're going to have in our lives long-term or in meaningful ways, it's just because they were next to us. It's really based on proximity. So this could be someone who's close by, like a neighbor, okay, or a neighbor at work even, or through people we know. And I think that what you really want to be doing is just paying more attention, because you seem to be that whole month, you seem to be like, I'm going. What do I need to get done? What needs to get done? You know what I mean? I'm doing this thing. I'm not saying you're robotic necessarily, but you have a lot on your plate. You have a lot to get done. And you may not be looking for something like that, or the opportunities to take that conversation to the next level could be missed if you're not being a little bit more like slow your roll, okay? And pay attention when you're talking to other people that you have some attraction to, because it's definitely there for you. Interesting. Enjoy. All right. Thank you, Edgar. We are going to, okay, we are at time. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. If you need to book a reading, a party, or a psychic fair with me, you can go to Ivy Rivera, psychicmedium.com. And if you don't need a whole reading, you just have like one question, you can submit a one question email read. Also, we will be back here on Wednesday. I will be talking and taking your questions for the live Q&A on the Psychic Mediumship course that starts January 7th. We're evergreen, so you could join anytime, but if you want to join with the group, registration's open for January 7th, and seats are filling fast. I will be here with Tiffany Chisler, our tarot teacher, and she'll be answering questions about the tarot class that also starts January 7th. All right, so tune in for that, 9 p.m. Eastern on all platforms. Thank you to my producers and Spirit, and thanks again for everyone tuning in. See you next time.